Hey everybody, you're watching Sidestep Adventures. It's Robert, and today we're going to take a look at this old abandoned church behind me. And don't know anything about it, but it looks pretty cool. Looks like it was updated at some time too. So let's take a look. All right, first thing that draws my eye, as you can see, it's got the old asbestos tile siding. It's interesting, the windows, I guess they're boarded up. And of course it's got a cinder block foundation, which tells us either two things. Either it was updated at some point, or it's a newer church. Wow, look at that in there. It kind of looks creepy from the outside. Let me see if I can stick my camera in through this window. If I can reach it, give you an inside look before we go inside, so you'll see it before I do. This church has definitely seen better days, but it's always good to see them still standing. You can see an electric light up there. And we definitely want to film this stuff before it's completely gone. I know you guys probably get tired of me saying that, but that's kind of what started Sidestep Adventures and us doing this. Is I used to go around and photograph places, always with the goal of photographing it before it was totally lost to time, and then it got turned into video. And I started doing that, started making sure that I actually fulfilled and did photograph this stuff, and made it a point to, because there was one building that I drove by one time and thought, I want to stop and take a picture of that, and I never did. And then I went back to actually do it and stop and photograph it, and it was gone. And so I missed it, and so that kind of gave the urge to actually get out here and make sure I do film this stuff before it's completely gone. And look here, make sure I don't step on any of our shoulderless friends in this grass. Oh look, I've talked about this on videos before. The honeybees have a nest in here. It's really interesting. It's always neat to see that. The bees or any animals making use of a building we humans have discarded. See if you can see through the window. I don't know what those boards are laying up there. Looks like doors, maybe shutters or something. And take a look in through this window before we go inside. Those honeybees are really neat. This is the second old church I've seen that's had a nest living in them. Living in it, I should say. I got caught by a vine. Oops. Stuck to the side of the church there. You can see the clapboard siding right there underneath the asbestos tile. Pretty neat old church. I think it is a newer one. Newer than I usually film, but cool nonetheless, and a piece of history nonetheless. Its job serving a congregation is over these days, and it's just left to rot. All right, let's take a look inside. It's kind of dark in here, so y'all don't yell at me too bad about not having a light. Let's check out the floors first, see how they're pretty sturdy. It smells awful in here though. You can see at some time it was updated. I know it's really dark, I can see on the camera, but you can see it had electricity. That's an old hymn book. And it's going to be pretty quick in here. It really smells bad. And there's not a whole lot to see in here anyway. You can see the old heater. More pieces of a hymn book. And then obviously the back is pretty inaccessible. I don't really know what that smell is in here, but it's strong. Some kind of bird droppings or animal droppings. Maybe even bat droppings. Another thing I got to point out before we get out of here is you can see the old wood roof and the old lights up there. This place did have electricity. It's a really neat church. It's been updated and used throughout the years, but definitely cool. It's rare to see one with all the glass still in it. I think that's glass. Some kind of colored glass. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed seeing this old church with me today. It's pretty cool. Still don't know what that smell inside was. That was weird. It smelled pretty bad. But, and the honeybees, they were really cool to see too. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next adventure. Hey guys, you're watching Sidestep Adventures, and it is Robert. Today is kind of a dirt road adventure. And one of the reasons I wanted to come out here was because this county in Georgia that we're in today, filming in, I was watching the news the other day and they came out with this thing that said that they are planning on paving all the dirt roads out here, improving all of the dirt roads. And so I wanted to come out here, kind of drive around some of them and film a little bit for you guys and also for me before they pave all the cool roads out here, because I like dirt roads. I like exploring dirt roads, and although I'm not in the best dirt road Jeep today, and it's raining, so it's like two things against me, but I wanted to come and cruise around some of them before they get paved and film a little bit of it, because I absolutely love dirt roads, and I grew up on a dirt road, and we are standing on the dirt road that I grew up on right now, and behind me is the old abandoned farmhouse that was right down from where I grew up. And so I wanted to show it to you guys today because I never have before, and wanted to get it on video too before it's gone. So let's take a look real quick. So I've actually photographed this place for years on film, on digital photography, and never videoed it though. I got lots and lots of pictures of it. There used to be a big oak tree standing right there leaning over the road. That's been gone for a couple years, but it is behind a barbed wire fence. I don't know what the owners are planning on doing with the house. I guess just let it fall in and decay, so we're not going to get too close to it. I've actually never been up to the house as many times as a kid growing up here, walking up this dirt road looking at it. Trust me, I thought about crossing the fence and walking up to it many a time, but I never did. But it's a pretty cool old house. I don't know, I'm not close enough to see, get an idea of the date on it or anything. It does have a brick chimney, you can see there. You see some, it looks like it's got a newer roof on it. It's 5V10, and it does have small windows though. I would imagine it's probably pre-18, around 1880 or after, because that's when this county was really founded and people started moving out here. It didn't see, I'm sure there were settlers out here prior to 1880, but that's when it saw its big boom in the late 1800s. And there's a big old cedar tree in the front yard too. I've always liked that cedar tree. I just thought this was a really cool place, and although we can't get up close to it, I did want to show it to you guys today. It's part of this dirt road adventure. I don't know if this is going to be a long video or a short video. Just depends on what we find. But here we are. I always thought this was cool, these old, I guess old railroad ties put up as fence. I'd take pictures of like the nails sticking out of them, all sorts of artsy stuff like that. If we look across the road, this actually has changed since the last time I was out here. The land's been clear cut. This is all logging land on this side of the road. It used to be farmland. It's kind of interesting to see that it is clear cut, because as a kid I wandered around in those woods a little bit, but never down on this end of the road did I get into those woods too much, and I always wondered what was down in them. Of course, you know, as a kid I imagined, you know, old abandoned farmhouses, old abandoned towns, all sorts of cool stuff out there, and seeing the reality of the clear-cut land, there's not a whole lot out there. I do know this was old farmland, though, if I didn't already say that. Back in the, I think 60s, this was all corn crops and stuff out here, and now it's pulpwood land. So they come out here and clear cut, then replant the trees, and these pine trees actually grow up pretty quickly. Look at the blooming cactus real quick before we move on. I've had a couple of those thorns in my feet. It ain't pleasant. Oh, and look at this. This is like stinging nettle or something like that. You brush up against it and it burns you or itches for a good long while after that. Brushed up against that plenty of times. It ain't pleasant. All right, let's see what else we can find.